Live from the WMSB television studios at the College of Mount St. Vincent, this is Channel 8 News.
Good afternoon and welcome to the Rosa segment. I'm Ciare and Rosa along Desiree Rosa, and this is WMSB Channel 8 News. Senator Charles Schumer is cracking down on automatic calls, also known as robocalls, by introducing a legislation that would try to decrease the amount of unwanted telemarketing calls. According to Schumer, the amount of unwanted telemarketing calls has been increasing rapidly over the past few years due to spammers who are using new technology as leverage. In addition, spammers are using illegal loopholes and weak penalties to violate federal do-not-call laws. This past year, the Federal Trade Commission, also known as the FTC, announced that they received 200,000 robocall complaints a month, which is 135,000 more than they received in 2010. Due to this rapid increase, Schumer held a conference where he announced his plan to decrease unwanted telemarketing calls. The senator stated that as of right now, the top fine for exceeding the legal amount of automatic calls is $10,000. Schumer argued that the government should increase the fine to $20,000 for each violation and give jail time to repeat offenders. In addition, Schumer asked the FTC to publicize the best technological solutions to avoid automatic telemarketing calls. Desiree?
A large group of Baltimore officers and gang members have been working together to peddle drugs, phones, and sex in their city jails. The acts of these 14 correction officers are similar to the officers in the HBO series The Wire. Rod Rosenstein claims that the officers were in bed with the prison gang members called the Black Gorilla family, also known as BGF inmates. There is record that there is one BGF member that has sexual relations with 4 different correction officers while incarcerated. Tavon White impregnated all of these guards and helped them, and they helped him smuggle drugs into prison. The correctional officers are saying that they have been bribed to smuggle things under their clothing. Some officers have traded sex for money. Rosenstein called the situation a criminal organization that has been operating in jails. 47 officers were charged in April. 27 of them are Baltimore correction officers. Ciara?
Not only is Senator Charles Schumer combating telemarketing calls, but he is also arguing against the new international community's nuclear deal with Iran. Recently, the United States and 5 other world powers reached an agreement with Iran, saying that Iran will curb its nuclear activities for 6 months in exchange for limited and gradual sanction relief. Supporters of the Iran Pact argue that through this pact, the United States will be able to inspect Iran's facilities and what Iran is doing. The temporary deal would provide $7 billion in relief from international sanctions to Iran, while Iran curbs on uranium enrichment and other nuclear activity. However, Schumer is still skeptical of the Iran Pact. Schumer argued that he believed this agreement is not a proportionate agreement because Iran benefited more from the agreement. Schumer and other opposers of the agreement, such as Representative Michael Grimm, do not believe that Iran is trustworthy enough to make an agreement with. Both Grimm and Schumer argue that Iran is an expert on deceit and stall tactics. However, Secretary of State John Kerry stated that although Schumer and Grimm make a very good argument, the government would not be taking Iran's word for face value and would need verification of Iran's actions in order for Iran to receive relief from sanctions. Desiree?
There is a deadly storm moving across the Atlantic after beginning in Southern California. At least 5 people have lost their lives in traffic crashes because of this winter storm spreading into Texas. Right now, the storm is dumping out ice and snow on the southwest. Texas, Oklahoma, and New Mexico are getting hit the hardest, and the rough weather is hitting people with surprise. The strength of the storm is a real shock to the people who aren't used to this weather, so it's a big warning to the people in the east who are going to get hit next. The Arctic air is expected to keep temperatures from 15 to 20 degrees below normal through Thursday. Even if the system fails to deliver heavy snow, it could cause air travel disruptions for Thanksgiving travelers. Ciara?
An 18-year-old man known as Gary Anderson was shot this past Sunday in a city apartment building in Newark, New Jersey. Police responded to a call about shots fired at Finley-Heisen Avenue around 1 a.m. on Sunday. When police arrived to the apartment building, they found Anderson wounded and alone. Anderson had several gunshot wounds and was immediately transported to a hospital. At the hospital, Anderson was pronounced dead at around 2:30 a.m. Authorities are uncertain of who the shooter was and if there was a motive. No other information was disclosed about the shooting. Police stated that they are still investigating the event. Desiree?
Authorities shared that Philip Chisholm, the Massachusetts teenager accused of raping and killing his algebra teacher, became visibly upset when Colleen Ritzer spoke about the teen's home state of Tennessee after class this Friday. Chisholm had previously lived in Tennessee before his parents' uneasy divorce. A ninth-grade student told investigators that she was in class with Chisholm when he became upset after talking about Tennessee with Ritzer. After Ritzer changed the subject, Chisholm started scribbling in his notebook while speaking to himself. Ritzer was allegedly raped with an object and had her throat slashed. Next to her body in the woods was a note that said, "I hate you all." The Massachusetts grand jury indicted Chisholm, 14, on charges of murder, aggravated rape, and armed robbery. Ciara?
Olympic downhill ski champion Lindsey Vonn was skiing on a Colorado mountain for practice this Tuesday when she crashed and re-tore her ACL. Vonn had originally injured her knee in February at the World Championship. However, this current injury could keep her from skiing in the 2014 Winter Games. According to her doctor, Vonn received a partial tear to her right ACL, which would mean that she has to rest a few days before she can pursue aggressive physical therapy. When she begins physical therapy, doctors will be able to tell whether or not she will be able to perform in the 2014 Winter Games. Desiree?
The Zumba instructor in Maine who ran a prostitution ring out of her fitness studio walked free this weekend. 29-year-old Alexis Wright was released Saturday on account of good behavior after serving 6 months of her 10-month term. The client list included accountants, lawyers, and even local TV personalities. In 2011, the police received a tip that there was a prostitution ring, and in 2012, they raided the Zumba studio. Court documents showed that Wright had videotaped inmate encounters with some of the customers in 3 locations, including her storefront, Zumba Exercise Studio, and would send her footage to the business partner, Mark Strong. More than 13,000 Skype video call snapshots were recovered from Strong's computer. Strong was found guilty of promotion of prostitution in March. He was sentenced to 20 days in jail. In addition, he was ordered to pay $57,000 and $1,000 in fines. Ciara?
This past Thursday, the famous 45-year-old actor Hugh Jackman revealed over Instagram that he had a cancerous growth removed from his nose. According to Jackman, he had recently gained an unusual mark on his nose. His wife of 17 years, an Australian actress, Deborah Lee Furness, convinced Jackman to get the mark checked by a doctor. Jackman declared on his Instagram, "Boy, was she right." After the mark was checked, Jackman discovered that he had a basal cell carcinoma, which is the least deadly form of skin cancer and can be completely eliminated if the individual receives proper treatment. According to the Skin Cancer Foundation, skin cancer is the most common form of cancer in the United States, with more than 30.5 million skin cancer cases diagnosed annually. Research has shown that 1 in 5 Americans will develop skin cancer in the course of a lifetime. In order to avoid skin cancers, researchers recommend individuals seek the shade, avoid tanning, wear sunscreen daily, and see their physician every year for a professional skin examination. After Jackman's experience, he has become a promoter of good skin care, telling his fans on Instagram not to be foolish like him, to get themselves checked and use lots of sunscreen. Desiree?
President Barack Obama and Bill Clinton honored John F. Kennedy as the 2 placed a wreath near the internal flame that marks President Kennedy's gravesite. President Obama made no public comments, but greeted Kennedy's relatives and gathered for his honor. The 50th anniversary of Kennedy was this Friday. There was a day-long gathering at the White House, and there was where President Obama bestowed the president a Medal of Freedom on promotion Americans, including Bill Clinton and Oprah Winfrey. For Channel 8 News, I'm Desiree Rosa alongside Ciara Renee Rosa. Thank you for watching Channel 8.